morning everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading for Tuesday. A couple of updates this morning, but first thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I have now openings in the life coaching program. I'm offering this at pretty much half price until Christmas. I was doing all my new pricing yesterday, so it will appear on my website as from now. However, I'm willing to honour the old prices up until Christmas. But if you want to get a reading at the old price, you'll need to email me so I can send you out an invoice rather than going through my website. I've been looking at increasing my prices for over a year now, and I've sort of held back, and I held back during COVID as well, but it's time for me to increase. So if you're looking for personal readings, any of the information is below. Please remember I go now live on YouTube on Wednesday, Instagram on Friday, and once a month doing live card pulls. Now, I was meant to be doing mini reads this Saturday, but unfortunately I think I might have to change the date. Something's come up. I've got a daughter who's about to have a baby, so things keep changing on me, but I guess that's the consequences when you're a mother and a grandmother. So I may have to change the date this weekend, but I'll let you know a bit closer, so be watching out for that. I think that's everything. All right, let's get into your reading. Oh, I should really say, if you're interested in any of things I do and you want to follow me, just go over to my page at the Aussie Goddess and like the page. I always have everything pinned there. So if I change anything, I'll try to go and change it on there so you can all keep up with me. I think now I'm done. All right. Okay, let's talk about the Five of Swords. Okay, so the Five of Swords is a card that talks of, I never get the camera right, do I? The Five of Swords talks about, it's funny because I guess I see this card in so many different ways. Some of the cards are really sort of black and white, and others of them have so many different meanings. The Five of Swords traditional meaning is about walking away after conflict. Sometimes it feels to me like you're walking away from something, but there's this sense of feeling somehow that you haven't really won. So you may be walking away from something, but really being disappointed about leaving it behind. Sometimes it can talk about sort of winning at all costs, you know, really sort of, you know, taking everything and just sort of running with it. So it can be sort of seen as a selfish card. All right. Okay, so feels to me, I'm a bit stuttery this morning. Don't know why that is. Five of Swords, this feels to me like some people are moving away from something. The Four of Cups comes up here now. So with both of these cards, there's this feeling of real dissatisfaction, like you're not getting what you want. A feeling of, you know, you're putting in all the effort, but you're not really getting back what you're putting in. That's the feeling I'm getting with those two cards. The Four of Cups talks of moving away from things. It's boredom, it's ennui, it's dissatisfaction. And I certainly feel with this card, there's a bit of the same. So I want to say to you, there is a new start coming in for you. And sometimes when you get that sluggish feeling, or it's hard to get your wheels going, it's sort of right before a new cycle. It often means that we're ready to move into a new time. But we're very often sort of in that holding space, as I call it, because Spirit wants you to learn the lessons before you move on. So they'll often hold you up to upload, download, whatever you'd like to see it as. So I feel like you've been in this space of growth and lesson learning, and you're about to get a brand new offer that's going to move you forward. Now, there is a caution here because of these cards. I feel like many of you have been learning about your personal boundaries, about your own limitations. So very much with these cards here, there's a feeling of really understanding your own limits. And overgiving is what Spirit is saying to me here. Overgiving, over all the overs, over responsibility, overgiving, over investing. there's a sort of, you've been through some sort of learning here, and Spirit is saying in order to get this new start, or when you get this new start, you're being asked not to forget what you learned while you were in this holding space. And what you were learning was how to respect yourself, how to value yourself, how to, I guess, how to understand what you are willing to put up with. Because a lot of us put up with stuff that we really shouldn't because we devalue ourselves. So the Spirit is asking here that you remember this time while you've been learning about your own value, because I feel you're about to get offered an opportunity, perhaps at a new relationship, but it could be work with the Ace of Pentacles here. So in other words, if you're sort of a little bit desperate for a job and you go in and they offer you half the salary you're used to, remember that you're worth what you're worth. Don't undersell yourself, because there's this feeling here that you've just sort of stepped out from the illusion. So it sort of feels to me like you've just sort of stepped out into the world as a little bit of a new person, because you're sort of in this newly born sort of vulnerable state, and they're asking you to be careful that you don't get taken advantage of here. The Moon card often talks about things that are hidden. So it's very likely here that you may have another test. See if you've learned your lessons here. Okay, beautiful, because you're coming up as the Queen of Wands. So what that says to me is that you are moving forward. You have understood your own value. You are understanding how to have good, healthy personal boundaries. And you're learning to see things as they are. And as I always say, you're letting go of the absorb and taking on the observe. So you're starting to see the world for what it actually is. So when you're looking beyond this illusion here, these sort of things as they seem, it's okay to dig deeper. It's okay to ask questions. Because I think a lot of us are sort of made feel uncomfortable if we ask too many things. Well, if you ask too many things from someone who's not being honest with you, naturally they're going to tell you you're too nosy, or you shouldn't interfere, or stop asking so many questions. Don't. If you feel like you need to ask why, how, who, go for it. Because it's saying here that you're seeing through the things that people have told you before, and you're starting to see things as they truly are. And then we get the Devil card. So very, very timely here. And the Devil card is all about some of these things, because a lot of this stuff is about your ego, what you were taught. You know, this whole idea of you don't have power, and you've probably been trodden down a little bit in your life, whether that's through, you know, your upbringing, or whether it's through your relationships. You know, often people want to take the power, they want to take control. So in order to have that control, they very often sort of try to put you in your place by, Spirit's saying demoting you, but I don't know whether demoting is the right word for me. It's sort of like taking away your power by making you doubt the power that you have. And somebody's been doing this to you before, because you're being asked here to remember who you've become. And you've become the person you were meant to be. So now it's time to let go of old things. Put away toys. They're no longer serving you here. So if somebody wants to take control of you, the best way they can do that is by making you doubt who you are. And then it's easy to manipulate you. All right, let's get your story. But the Devil card talks about the ego. Okay, so we have love coming in. And I feel like this love is coming in. Beautiful. Somebody wants to build something with you here. All right. This love is coming in after a period of healing. And it's sort of like you're being offered something here, but it really is only going to be what you want it to be. If you want it to be the way you want it to be, you have to be prepared to hold space, to stand up for yourself, to remember who you are. Because the Nine of Pentacles tells me you've done a lot of work to get to this point. This is the card of independence, self-sufficiency, having enough. And you've brought yourself into this energy here. And something's about to be offered to you here that somebody wants to build with you. So there's a relationship coming in for you. In the next 3 months, I would say. And because of that, you're being asked to really remember what you've learned and who you are. All right, let's just keep going. All right, so we have the Fool. So we have a brand new start. This is about taking a leap of faith here. Okay, there's the offer coming through, most likely from a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And then we have the Six of Swords. So moving away from the old version of yourself here. Moving towards the new, moving towards a brand new start. This is really, really nice energy. But there's a real sort of, now a warning, a real sort of cautionary thing around just being, understanding that you're still in learning mode. You're putting now into practice what you learned. And this learning that you have here is about you understanding your own value. All right, oh wow, Two of Cups, what a beautiful reading. Okay, with the Hermit card, I want to wait to put the last card down. I'm going to give this a bit of a going over. We'll shuffle and put some extra cards down. You're being asked to take a leap of faith on something here. This person has been sent in for you here. Now, I feel very strongly that in order to get this new relationship off the ground and to have a really steady relationship with this person, you've got to be prepared to assert your own boundaries. And it's funny because people are so scared of hurting other people that they're not honest, but they don't really care about themselves, which sort of blows me away a little bit. So it's sort of like you're prepared to hurt your own feelings at someone else's cost, but not understanding that it's going to hurt you in the long run. So when people talk about toxic relationships, that's how it starts. It starts because you put yourself underneath the other person. You put the other person on a pedestal. And a relationship should be equal footing. You should both be prepared to say what you feel, think, everything, so that the other person is very clear about where you finish and they start, or where they finish and you start. So there's this very strong feeling here. You are being asked here to assert your boundaries. All right, so we have here the Five of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. No, but interestingly enough, that is about holding on to things. So the Four of Cups here, this says to me that you've walked away from things that haven't served you and you've been very dissatisfied. I feel like there's some sort of new start coming in, but you're still in your learning phase at the moment, and it's very much about your own personal boundaries. You're starting to understand your own limits here. You're starting to understand who you are. This is about the veil. This is about all the things that have held you back in the past being exposed, because you're coming up as the Queen of Wands. Whether you're male or female, you're coming up as standing in your own power, taking on a leadership quality, and also feeling very attractive. So you're ready for something new, and there's a lot of love in the cards at the moment. So there's going to be a lot of new relationships developing over the next few months. Spirit is bringing love into the world, and I see it happening so often now. And I say to people, do the work on yourself. You need to be ready. You need to have a healthy relationship. And if you've been through prior pain or prior relationships where you haven't put yourself on at least equal footing or at first, you're never going to be able to have a relationship that's not toxic. So if you keep putting the other person before yourself, it will eventually turn toxic. And a lot of people do that because they avoid or fear conflict. So instead of saying, no, I don't like that, or no, I don't want to do that, people go along with things because they don't want to hurt others and they don't want to create conflict. Okay, let's see what's going on for the last card here. Ooh. I just had a feeling I had to do that. You're coming up as the Empress here. Again, whether you're male or female, this is your feminine energy. And I know that it's really, I probably should do a little bit of talk on what does the feminine masculine look like for you, so that you can work on these things. But the feminine aspect here is about birth. It's about bringing something new into your world that you've been wanting, but you had to build to this energy to get what you wanted on your pathway. So there's very much this energy of new life, new birth, new energy coming through here. And you're feeling fine. So you're ready to birth something new here. I probably don't need to put any more cards on it, but I wanted to see what was coming out there. Okay, so we're going to get just the reminder here. Look at that. Okay, so you're getting a love offer coming through here. Oh, Four of Pentacles. That's why I raised it for you. You're getting a love offer coming through. Actually, this is quite interesting energy here, because the moon talks about things that are hidden. And I feel like there's a lot of you here holding on to past stuff, past emotion, past energy here that you need to release. And I feel like somehow or another you're going to be able to work at this with this new offer. I feel like whoever this is coming in for you has a lot of passion. And I feel like you're able to feel comfortable with this person about asserting your own boundaries. So you're letting go of these limitations you've been carrying. But there's a lot here under the surface that you need to bring forward. Because I feel like this person's awakening something in you. And with this here, I would say it's great love. Big love. Big love. What are we going to read from? All right, let's go for the shadow. Starseed oracles. Okay. Yeah, there's some sort of big love awakening here. Oh. Okay, well that's interesting, because they've sent out 2 cards and they did that in a pretty big way. So I'm going to put the other one upside down. I'm going to read this one for you first. It's called Learning How to Be Human in the World but Not of It. So that's very apt. Very apt indeed. All right, let's have a look what it says. The challenge for all souls having a human experience is to be in the world but not of it. To realize they are souls having a human experience and be fully conscious of it. See, observing. To have their soul fully embody their body. People's personalities tend to relate to either transcendence or immanence. Those who lean towards transcendence have a yearning for the heavens and the metaphysical. They yearn for a personal experience with God and to be lost in the heavens. They're envious of the angels and are more comfortable praying and hanging out in the stars than on earth. Those that tend towards immanence have attached themselves more to earth and their body. They spend more time thinking about things in the physical world rather than connecting with the heavens or their own mystical inner worlds. Being a fully embodied soul having a human experience means finding the balance between transcendence and immanence, being in the world but not of it. Most starseeds are drawn towards transcendence. They're more comfortable with the angels and the heavens. Life on earth can be more difficult for them. If this is you, you're being reminded that you chose to be a soul in a body on earth, and you're being called to focus more of your energies in the physical world, to learn how to be human, a soul in a human body fully present to what life has to offer you. See, this is all about the lessons you're learning. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is beautiful. So it's empathic starseed. Oh, there you go. Energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. Just what I was talking about again. Empathic starseeds are here to shift the world through their physical presence alone. They don't need to do anything beyond here, thanks to the energetic change their physical presence causes. Due to their highly sensitive nature, empathic starseeds can struggle with being on earth and in a physical body. Many are prone to addiction or depression, or tend to mistake other people's feelings and moods for their own. Natural introverts, they prefer to be spending time alone or in small groups. Crowds can be overwhelming with them. I'm just sitting here listening to me and I'm thinking it's my story, and I'm probably got 1,000 other people sitting there going, yep, that's me. If this card appears, consider lightening the load energetically. Don't put yourself under such pressure to go out into the world. Be gentle with yourself. Allow extra time and care to recover energetically. If you're feeling pressure to keep up a certain pace, instead put on the brakes and treat yourself like a precious baby. I'm going to read that again because it resonates with this reading. Be gentle with yourself. Allow extra time and care to recover energetically. If you're feeling pressured to keep up a certain pace, instead put on the brakes and treat yourself like a precious baby. It's new. Do whatever you can to take the pressures of the world off your plate. Switch off to switch back on. In today's world, it's normal to feel that we should be doing more, but perhaps being present in our life is enough. This could be a phase you're going through, or simply how you're being called to live your life. If your work involves giving to others right now, you're being called to keep something for yourself. You don't need to transmute it all. It's okay to look after your own growth and healing before feeling that you should offer it to the world. Indeed, it's necessary if you want to continue to do so sustainably. So that beautifully sits with this reading. It's okay to look after your own growth, because what we do we tend to give that to other people because we feel we're being generous, but actually it's a little bit sort of manipulative for us because it means we can not deal with conflict and pain. And especially if you're highly empathic, you'll understand what I mean. So this is beautifully sitting with the reading. Make sure you look after yourself.